100% super strict. All the carbs that I was consuming, I cut those all out. I quit coffee. Look at the actual damage it's doing to your gut. There's some real issues with it. Ooh, I've been sick the last week, like the last 9 days, just out of it, totally out of it. I made major changes during that process though. I quit coffee, I quit dark chocolate. I went 100% carnivore. So I got rid of basically all the carbs that I was consuming, the honey, any sort of sweet potatoes, I cut those all out. So I've been keto now for about 7 days, super strict. I'm pretty sure I had the flu. I got tested for the coronavirus and I had it back in June.
Have you come into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19?
I tested negative this time. It didn't feel like coronavirus at all. It felt much worse. Body aches everywhere, really tired, like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, as far as like where I felt energy-wise, mood-wise. Could maybe sit up for like 30 minutes at a time before I got like kind of nauseous or kind of like feeling in pain. I couldn't even look my eyes to the right or left without feeling like sort of like a headache of feeling that rotation. So it's been a recovery. I want to talk about the benefits of cycling into like a strict ketogenic style, what kind of meals and prep I've been doing lately. So got some kidney today and I'll probably just do the egg yolks without the whites at all. I'll just do these bad boys, soy-free eggs, probably 3 egg yolks. And then I've got some chuck roast. I'll do all this fat for sure. Here, I think this is like tender tips and things like that. But that plus water and we'll be good. So as I mentioned, I quit coffee. I'm on a coffee break for at least 30 days. I'm probably gonna quit it for longer than that. And I want to credit Saladino MD because I have known about some of the challenges of drinking coffee. I've loved it in the past, but there's some real issues with it. For one, you're basically drinking a concoction of burnt plant seeds, which we know seeds of plants generally are some of the most toxic foods out there. So you're drinking this basically brew of burned plant seeds, and the quality control on coffee is really super variable. First of all, coffee has polyphenols. These are plant molecules that are designed to essentially naturally be pesticides to insects and other animals that would eat the coffee plant. And we've been led to believe by the coffee industry and probably by many pretty smart people over the last several years that coffee is actually quite beneficial, has some antioxidant properties, can be great for your mitochondria. But we're seeing research where actually polyphenols are not that good for you. The other things are acrylamide. So like when they roast coffee beans, or unfortunately like chocolate, when they roast cacao beans, they create a potential carcinogen and neurotoxin called acrylamide. And this has been something that they've warned people about in the past, but acrylamide is not a good thing from what we can tell. There's an actual reasonable amount of it in coffees, especially the instant coffee. I was drinking the Four Sigmatic, and you're getting a lot of this acrylamide in your consumption of coffee. There are mold toxins, mycotoxins, and then caffeine itself is a compound that blocks opioid receptors. So there's several reasons where I think coffee is probably borrowing from tomorrow to give to today, and people are addicted to it, and it is a pleasurable experience to drink it, but when you look at the actual damage it's doing to your gut, when you look at the effects that caffeine has on your sleep, it's really not worth the trade-off. It's one of those things where you're doing quite a bit of damage for the pleasure that you're experiencing, and it's lasting a period of time, and it's probably over the long run wearing down your system and not good for you. So for all those reasons, I am at least doing the 30-day no coffee, but I'm probably gonna do a lot longer than that. And I've already noticed my energy level is much more steady, and I don't have those headaches and issues that I have when I first kind of go off coffee. I'm kind of past that phase, so I'm excited about that as well. And just being through that whole like withdrawal phase where I'm just not craving. So I really do feel this time that it's probably gonna be a permanent quit. And because of the knowledge and the information out there and the better understanding of all the damage that this thing does to your body, I don't think it's worth it. And it doesn't optimize you. It doesn't give you more energy. It actually messes with your energy in a negative way. And the net effect of it is not positive. So let's see if I can manage this and consistently cold turkey this and we'll go from there. So let's talk about why I am cycling pretty strict on ketogenic diet. So the idea is I'm getting rid of all carbohydrates. People generally say anything below 50 grams a day puts you in a ketogenic state, but I have literally 0 carbs right now. There's no carbs. It's literally all meat and fat and egg yolks and some salmon roe. And there's no ketchup, there's nothing. So I've done that. The dark chocolate and the coffee, I cut that, as I explained earlier. The acrylamide is kind of a big deal, and there's enough in there in a decent amount where it's not just like an inconsequential amount of acrylamide that you're getting in these foods. So to have them every day is just probably not a good idea. So I'm doing a 30-day fast on those. I think I'll probably not do coffee. I've already noticed my energy is more stable, especially with the ketogenic diet. Even the amount of carbs I was only doing about 60, 70 grams of carbs a day. I noticed like blood sugar is it's got to be just real stable throughout the day. And I can sit in front of my computer and you can notice like I would sit there sometimes and I would just feel the energy. You kind of feel like crash. Like you sit there and you're kind of waiting for that 30 minutes. With this, it's like you're just sitting there and you feel the same energy and it's like you're just rolling. You don't feel any sort of crash, any sort of cravings. Like it's very, very stable for hours upon hours. So that's been really interesting to remember and recall, because there's that subtle difference that you just kind of lose track of if you haven't been keto for a while. For me, I haven't really been strict keto for 7 months, and I've been doing the carbs for a while, and I wouldn't say my energy was terrible on carbs, but this is better. This is much more productive in terms of energy. Now, I did do a couple workouts this week already on the strict keto, and it's tough to say because I'm coming out of the flu whether or not that affected my overall performance, but I'm going to stay on this ketogenic diet probably through the month of January, because I think consistently, if you look at our ancestors, they would have gone for periods of months, even maybe a season or two, without actually getting access to higher sugar or carbohydrates of sorts, especially in the fall, winter, before they got to the spring. It's just like there could have been periods of time where we didn't eat carbs for 4, 5, 6 months, and that was probably pretty regularly. So for me to go for 4 or 5 weeks and just cycle strict ketogenic, it's probably a good thing. The other thing too I want to focus on is Physique. So this is kind of just where I'm at with body fat percentage. I feel like I'm pretty lean, but I want to get even more cut than this, and I want to really just basically take a good like 1 or 2% off the actual mid area and get myself down to probably like 9 to 8% body fat. Once I'm down there, I can get to a place where I can add carbs again and try to focus more on muscle building and less on like cutting. But for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to focus on increasing the intensity of my workouts now that I'm coming out of this flu, and I'm going to focus on staying real strict ketogenic diet. I'm not macro tracking, so we'll have to see if that affects my ability to kind of lean up. I don't think it's going to. I think just in the last week since shifting all keto, I've probably already noticed a little bit of leanness start to come through. So I do miss carbs. I kind of want to have some honey. I'm probably going to feel a little more slow in the long workout days at the gym, but I want to see if I can get real lean, maintain that strength, and get the results I want. If I see that I'm getting the same sort of strength that I'm hitting in the gym, and I'm losing, body fat, and I am able to maintain this energy that's real steady, I might stay on this for a while. Now, I think carb cycling is probably important. You want to see that your pancreas can work and you can have beta cell activity there, and you can actually produce insulin and handle some blood sugar spikes here and there. So I do think it's probably good to not be in ketosis for extended periods of time, but for like a month or two, it's certainly not a bad thing. And I think it's going to be a good sort of cycle for me to do this. So let's see what happens. I want to sort of look at my body fat percentage, and we'll track it, and then we'll also see how I do with no coffee and no chocolate. Now, those are for the month. I think if I go back to chocolate, I'll probably use it as a treat, like a weekend dessert or some sort of reward for my goals, but I don't think it was serving me physically, right? It's introducing acrylamide, it's introducing other things, fiber, polyphenols, some toxicity to my gut. It's also staining your teeth, and on top of that, it is adding caffeine, which is affecting sleep. And that's all probably not ideal when you're going real strict and you're cutting coffee and you're trying to kind of level your energy levels and just keep things real stream baseline. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, like button, comment. I've got a few products in the pipeline that I want to test and demo for people that have reached out and want to share those products. So I might be doing some reviews in the near future. Probably gonna do some more experimenting here with the extreme ketogenic, strict, low carb, no coffee, no chocolate, and see how that plays out in terms of physique and growth. And then let me know if there's other topics that you're really interested in following. We can kind of try to dive into those. Until next time, let's get optimized, and I'll see you on the next one.